Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Around the Nation, right here. Got a great show for you guys today. On this Wednesday afternoon, we're going to talk about the Donald Trump going after publicly Christine Blasey Ford. That is both despicable and enlightening. Why enlightening, you might ask? Well, in case you didn't already know, our president's a shitbag. So that's fun. We'll talk about that. Of course, we've got Republican reaction on that as well, including Jeff Flake. So that's going to be interesting to talk about. We also have the Democrats' response on the idea of impeaching Brett Kavanaugh for lying. Interesting. We'll talk about that as well. Then I think the best story came out yesterday after we were done with yesterday's show. Breaking news from the New York Times of how Donald Trump got his fortune. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay, we'll talk about that. We also have, of course, Initiative 77 in the D.C. area. What was that and what happened? Why was it overturned? We've got the details on that. Very interesting stuff if you're interested in labor rights, as well as workers actually earning a living wage. So, got that. And, of course, it's going to be a good show today, so tune in for that. Before we dive into it, I just want to talk about the presidential alert. You probably noticed that your phone went off earlier, with the presidential alert system. So that's, I was making jokes about it on Twitter earlier today, about, boy, I am so glad that it wasn't a gigantic orange dick pic. So that's my response to that. But seriously, though, it is kind of unnerving knowing that, oh, I have access to every single cell phone in the entire country, and I can send it messages at any time. Look, they're like, oh, but Donald Trump didn't actually write them. Yeah, I know. Believe me, if he had wrote that message that we received, we would know it. It would be rife with misspellings and weird capitalizations. And added, and probably had, tacked on to the end, for the losers and haters, don't worry. There's no anything. There's no actual emergency, so calm down. Okay. Again, it's kind of weird having them be able to access your phone. But anyway, how's my thoughts on that? I share that feeling with a lot of people who feel that it is very, very uncomfortable. So maybe it wouldn't be so uncomfortable if it weren't Donald Trump. But then again, I don't want anybody accessing my phone like that. I believe in privacy. Not that I don't know. Let's move on. Let's actually get into the show. Before I do, I just want to thank everybody for being here. Make sure to hit the share button. That helps us out greatly. Also, I want to give thanks to somebody who gave a super chat earlier today before the show started. I didn't know you could actually do that. So that's, well, anyway, I want to thank you for that. Haley Cyril. So thank you for that. She says, thank you for the raw and detailed coverage. Fantastic journalism is much appreciated. Faithful subscriber. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate that quite a bit. And all I try to do here on the show is just to look at the news and kind of break it down and just give you some analysis and perspective. And that's what I try to do here. And I appreciate those, who support us and tune in. A big thank you to the patrons, of course, as well. And everybody who supports us through, liking, sharing, tweeting, and of course, donating as well. So thanks everybody for that. That really means a lot to me. Okay. That's it. Let's dump into the stories. Dump into the story? I'm sorry. Let's jump into the stories. I don't know what the hell is going on with me today, but I'm off. So Here I go again, man. Let's dive into the stories. I almost said jive into the stories. What the hell is wrong with me? I know words, the best words, the greatest words. Tremendous. Okay, anyway. let's go into this before I fuck up worse. Okay. On Tuesday, President Trump viciously mocked Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and her testimony before a crowd of his own supporters at a Mississippi rally. I want to show you video of this because it is quite disgusting, and then we'll take it apart afterwards. Let's watch.
36 years ago, this happened. I had one beer, right? I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What neighborhood was it in? I don't know. Where's the house? I don't know. Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know. But I had one beer. That's the only thing I remember. And a man's life is in tatters. A man's life is shattered. His wife is shattered. His daughters, who are beautiful, incredible young kids. They destroy people. They want to destroy people. These are really evil people.
Wow, is that projection? Oh man, these are evil people. They want to destroy people. You realize that Chuck Grassley just released very intimate details about one of the accuser's sex lives. Oh, but these are evil people. They want to destroy people. Yeah, like they want to destroy Christine Blasey Ford for actually coming forward with these accusations, which even Republicans are saying, we're saying, man, this is very credible testimony. But here's Donald Trump saying, I don't know. How'd you get there? I don't know. You try getting sexually assaulted and not remembering 30 years. Another piece of breaking news that just came out today, Connie Chung, legendary reporter. She's saying 50 years ago, she was sexually assaulted, and she just came out with it today. And like Christine Blasey Ford, she doesn't remember where it was. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. It means that, look, there's a couple of things. Obviously, the passage of time can make you forget exactly some of the specifics that are there. And not only that, but there's also the trauma. The trauma of having something like that happen to you also makes you forget exactly when and where it happened, because your mind is so focused on the trauma, on what actually happened to you. So to mock somebody for not remembering some specific details about where it was. And by the way, she remembered the layout of the house. She remembered narrow staircase. There was a bathroom over here. We went into the bedroom. The bed was on the right-hand side of the room. She explained that in very specific, excruciating detail. And not only that, but of course about what happened to her, which is where the most detail had come into play, where she explained it very, very well. That's what made her testimony credible. But to Trump, oh no, you don't remember where it was. You don't remember this. You don't remember that. How many years ago? You know what would help her remember? And she said it herself. She's like, look, I don't remember exactly when it was, but if you were to get some testimony from Mark Judge about when he worked at the Safeway, that would help me pinpoint exactly when this was. And Judge Kavanaugh's calendar that he brought supposedly as evidence to help his own case actually helps corroborate hers, because it was, just look at when Beach Week was and when there were parties planned. She also said it was Beach Week and there were parties at that point. And I don't remember which one it was or exactly where it was, but it was during that period of time. Donald Trump is a sick person. I mean, he is a disgusting person. I'm not saying mentally sick. He's just sick. He's a garbage human being. here he's picking apart her testimony when defending Kavanaugh, which, by the way, Kavanaugh's entire testimony was basically righteous indignation. That's what it was. I like beer. I like beer. I had a couple beers. Don't you like to go and have a couple of beers after you work out? I like beer. I only had a couple of beers. Bullshit. Absolute lies. Outright. And that's not me saying that. That's his former classmate saying, no, dude was a drunk. He was not only a drunk, he was a sloppy drunk. Had a couple of beers. And his entire, as I said, testimony was him being first angry, which, look, Blasey Ford, she couldn't get away with that. No, they would say she's too emotional. She's too angry. Well, we definitely can't believe her because that's manufactured. No, dude, the only manufactured anger and tears were from Kavanaugh. Who knows he did it? Again, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And look, it's kind of funny because the media was like, ooh, Donald Trump hasn't actually said anything. He's actually maybe being presidential. Nah, dude. No. The media now has no excuse to protect Trump from this. Trump is a disgusting human being, and he shows it. And he just showed it right now. You saw the video. You absolutely saw the video. Now, there's more criticism here from Bill McKibben, right? Now, he said, even for Donald Trump, this represents a new low. He's a lout. But I said before, there is no bottom to that barrel. Donald Trump will continue to keep digging lower and lower because there is no bottom. He'll never reach bottom. He'll get worse, progressively worse. That's because that's who he is. And the saddest thing about this is not that Trump's a disgusting person. Of course, we've always known Trump's a disgusting person. But look at the people behind him. Look at the cheers. Look at the women for Trump. You ask Republicans, and they'll tell you, we either don't believe Christine Blasey Ford and her credible testimony, or we don't care. 54% of Republicans polled recently said that they would support confirming Kavanaugh even if those accusations are true. That's over half of Republicans. They don't care at all. Either, hey man, look, we don't believe her, we think it's fake news, and just a Democrat plot to destroy Kavanaugh, a good man. Or, yeah, even if he did it, I don't give a shit. I'll support him anyway. Just like the allegations against Trump, just like all the stuff that Trump had done in the past, you know, grabbing women by the genitals. We don't care. We don't care because in him, we get everything that we want. They call him deplorable for a reason. Okay. Moving on. So Jeff Flake, following a rally on Tuesday where the president mocked Christine Blasey Ford's powerful testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee, has some kind of maybe strong words a little bit for Donald Trump after seeing him act like a complete and total jackass, mocking victims of sexual assault. First, I want to show you that video of what Donald Trump has said, and then we'll get to what Flake's reaction is, and of course, other Republicans as well. Let's take a look at that.
36 years ago, this happened. I had one beer, right? I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What neighborhood was it in? I don't know. Where's the house? I don't know. Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know. But I had one beer. That's the only thing I remember. And a man's life is in tatters. A man's life is shattered. His wife is shattered. His daughters, who are beautiful, incredible young kids. They destroy people. They want to destroy people. These are really evil people.
All right, so first of all, I love how he talks about, oh, his life is shattered. No, this guy's up for the Supreme Court. He is likely going to get voted into the Supreme Court. This is a job interview. This isn't a criminal prosecution. This is a job interview. And I don't know, look, maybe you guys have been to some different job interviews than I have. But normally, if you cry and whine and throw righteous indignation during the job interview, you normally don't get the job. Just saying. So to say that his life has been absolutely destroyed is ridiculous. And if Kavanaugh didn't do it, well, then he should be in support of a very thorough FBI investigation. And what we've seen so far of the FBI investigation into this is that it's a sham. They haven't even talked to Ford. They didn't talk to Kavanaugh, of course. The FBI didn't. They had a very, very limited in scope investigation that is likely going to wrap up really, really soon. And I wouldn't be shocked if they say, oh, well, it came up clean. That's because they didn't talk to anybody. There have been stories after stories of people with relevant information basically being ignored by the FBI. In fact, Ford's attorneys wrote that, quote, it is inconceivable that the FBI could conduct a thorough investigation of Dr. Ford's allegations without interviewing her and interviewing many, many other people who had relevant information. Nonetheless, back to Flake, right? So Flake, talking to Savannah Guthrie on NBC, said, quote, on this video specifically, there's just no time and place for remarks like that. To discuss something this sensitive at a political rally is just not right. It's just not right. I wish he hadn't done it. It's kind of appalling. Kind of appalling. Just kind of? No, that's horrific. Has this guy not been paying attention at all? Is he incapable of actually making a strong statement or taking a strong stance on anything? I guess not. I guess that's why he's Flaky Jeff Flake. Like, he can't actually be strong about anything. And I know the media is like, oh, Jeff Flake, paragon of bravery. No, that's not brave. Saying it's kind of appalling, that's brave? That's considered brave. Bullshit. Bullshit. And by the way, this isn't the first time he has mocked people. Okay. Again, going back to the campaign, calling women, pigs and terrible, terrible names like that. And not only that, but mocking a New York Times reporter at a Trump rally. And you know what? What's probably the worst part is that his base, they eat it up. They love it when he goes after disabled reporters, and when he goes after sexual assault survivors. They don't care. They don't care at all. But to say it's kind of appalling. No, Jeff. It's super appalling. Just once I'd like to see a Republican tell the truth. That Trump is a misogynistic shitbag garbage person. Because that's what he is. The president is fucking garbage. He mocks disabled people, women, minorities. He is a terrible human being. And if you support him, I'm sorry to say that you're also kind of terrible. Because you are enabling him. You are enabling this kind of behavior by throwing your support behind him. I know some of you might be thinking, but my tax cuts. If you're putting your tax cuts ahead of other people, sexual assault survivors, the disabled, then I'm sorry, you're also a terrible person and you're a greedy fuck. Let's be honest about what you guys are. Now, look, it's one thing to want to get to the truth, because not every allegation is true, obviously. And to point out, hey, look, there might be some inconsistencies with your story. Let's look into those. Let's see. Okay, there's missing information. We would like to fill in the gaps, right? That's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's what an investigation is actually supposed to do. Because, look, if I had allegations like that against me, I would definitely want the truth. I would want an in-depth investigation to completely, without a 100% shadow of a doubt, disprove those allegations against me. But why doesn't Trump do that? Why isn't Kavanaugh interested in that? Why isn't the Republican Party interested in doing that? It's because they did it. It's because they did it. They absolutely did it. And you know it. Look, Trump himself has had allegations against him, including the rape of Ivana Trump. Now, Ivana Trump later on said, well, you know, I don't actually call it rape anymore. But does she dispute what happened? What she alleges? No, she just says, you know, I called it rape before in a deposition, a sworn deposition, but I take back the wording of it. I don't actually call it rape anymore. No. But it still happened. Oh, well, that's a interesting thing to say. No, look, Trump is a scumbag. Kavanaugh's a scumbag. They're both, and that's one reason, of course, I think that they are sticking by each other, man. And again, probably a reason why so many of these people, these Trump supporters, are sticking with him too. I mean, look, the problem, I pointed out before, there are people that are cheering him on in the back. They're cheering him on. They're saying, yes, Donald. Oh, God, wonderful. Yes, sexual assault survivors are terrible. And they're evil people. They're evil. 49% of Republican women support Kavanaugh. And over 54% say that they would want to have him confirmed even if he's guilty. Even if he's guilty. They don't care. They don't care at all. Now you can say politically, that's pretty savvy. I mean, they're playing the long game, right? And Republican politicians are also playing the long game. They don't give a shit because it's their guy. It's their guy. Hey, man, I want my guy in the Supreme Court. That's why, and I see this question happening or being asked a lot. Why don't they just put someone else on the court? Why don't they just nominate someone else that is a little less controversial, that doesn't have these particular issues, you know, who isn't being alleged to have been a rapist? I mean, there's plenty of other conservatives out there that haven't raped anybody, allegedly, that haven't allegedly done sexual assault. Why not nominate them? They don't care. They don't care. And look, Republicans in the Senate, in the House, especially the Senate, who's going to vote for confirmation, right? People like Flake, they're willing to lose an election if it means their guy gets put on the court for 30 to 40 years. That is a long-term win for them and their ideology. That's why Jeff Flake is conflicted. He's like, oh man, do I call out Trump for being a shitbag, which I am, but do I vote for Kavanaugh because that means this is going to be an excellent win in the long term for GOP ideology. That ideology that he buys into. Remember, ideologically, Jeff Flake is a very strong conservative Republican. Do you think he's going to vote against Kavanaugh when the rest of his party is willing to endure a short-term loss in order to get a long-term gain in Kavanaugh? Again, you got to hand it to them. They're more than willing to play the long game and to play it fucking dirty. And here, you know, Democrats are over here playing fucking patty cakes with the Republicans when you've got Republican senators and congressmen that are more than willing to put somebody who very, very likely committed sexual assault on the Supreme Court so they can get their ideology. That's what this is about. This has nothing to do with policy and everything to do with how it looks in the public eye. That's why Jeff Flake is conflicted. That's why he's like, I don't know. Oh, I don't know if I'll support Kavanaugh or not. It just all depends. No, he's going to vote for him. And if it is safe for Jeff Flake to do so, that I think is the only reason why he would not vote for Kavanaugh. If it is safe politically, if Republicans still get their win. So if there's a situation where, oh, don't worry, we'll get a tie, but then we'll have Mike Pence break the tie, then I can see Jeff Flake saying, okay, I'm going to take a big stand here and make a big PR spectacle about how I'm the respectable Republican. Probably to set up his own future political career, possibly a run for office. You don't see that happening? I do. It is very, very possible. So never rule out political motives, especially when you're dealing with politicians, because that's what they are. Politicians are politicians, and they're going to play politics, and that's what Jeff Flake is doing. So, look, it's all about optics, right? And the optics for Donald Trump and Kavanaugh are absolutely terrible. At least most of the American public, aside from the Republicans who are in their entire own universe, the Republican voters, the GOP can't hide the fact that they are misogynistic, racist, and xenophobic in their policy positions. Now, they've always been that way, but outside they've had this decorum, right? Oh, I dare say, we cannot say that out loud. But with Donald Trump, all of that's been shattered. The illusion is gone. The veil is lifted. You can see the Republican Party for what they actually are. The party of Trump. But not just the party of Trump, because they've always been that party. But Donald Trump is now just the newest face of what they've always been. I think I'm fairly clear on that. Yeah, I didn't even get to the rest of the Republicans on that. Let me just do that real quick here before we go to break, because I do want to give you some of the statements here. And it's not going to be part of the clip when I clip it out and put it online. But I still want to give you some of that context. Now, Suzanne Collins said the president's comments were just plain wrong. Okay, so she is possibly one of the swing votes that could say no. Okay, Lisa Murkowski also said, I thought the president's comments yesterday mocking Dr. Ford were wholly inappropriate and, in my view, unacceptable. Okay, not only that, but you also have Senator Tom Tillis, who actually declined to comment. Bill Cassidy said, I didn't see it. And Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley did say, quote, I plead with all to stop the personal attacks and destruction of Dr. Ford and her family, or Judge Kavanaugh and family. He tweeted out on Twitter. Now, it's kind of funny. You want to talk about personal attacks? Chuck Grassley, earlier today, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, actually released a memo detailing the sex life, sexual preferences of Julia Swetnick. Now, Julia Swetnick is the third accuser, the one that said Kavanaugh and Judge were present when women were basically, or I should say when men were having sex with unconscious women at certain parties. You want to talk about personal attacks and destruction. You just personally attacked and tried to destroy Julie Swetnick. Disgusting. There's more. South Dakota Senator Mike Round said, it's not what I would have said. And Lindsey Graham, you love Lindsey Graham, he said that this was a, quote, factual rendition. But then added, it could have been worse. He could actually kill someone's cat or puncture their tires to get them to shut up. Oh, hey, man, it's bad, but boy, it could be worse. And by the way, completely factual. Lindsey Graham is disgusting. The last few days, if you didn't already think Lindsey Graham was also a shit human being, I think the last week, this whole Kavanaugh thing absolutely shows what he is. He's a shit human being. Garbage person. And look, disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. And just saying, well, I mean, at least you didn't kill your cat. Donald Trump did joke that he could kill someone on Fifth Avenue and not get in trouble. Well, you know what? That is turning out to be, I think, fairly true. So that's a Republican reaction. That's who the Republicans are. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got the Democrats' response, or at least Nancy Pelosi, talking about what she would do against Mr. Kavanaugh if she got back into power with the speaker's gavel. And you're going to be disappointed. So come back right after the break, and we'll do those stories around the nation. Whoops. Welcome back to the show, Around the Nation, right here, Jeff Waldorf. Okay, we have some super chats to read from you guys. Platypi says, I hope you all have a nice day. Well, I hope you have a nice day as well as everybody in the chat that's joining us today. Please make sure to share the stream if you haven't already. Edward Norton says, Trump paid ads on newspapers about the Central Park Five. And that's an excellent point that does not get repeated enough, including by me. So you want to talk about innocent before proven guilty, due process, right? That's all the Republicans are screaming, due process, including Donald Trump. But then the Central Park Five were exonerated. And afterwards, Trump took out those ads to say, oh, no, they're still guilty. I think they're still guilty. Kill them. We should execute them. Donald Trump is a deeply racist individual, but also not just a racist individual, but just a terrible person overall, calling for that. So, I mean, that is as low that you can get, and we are still going lower and lower. How low can we go? As low as, I mean, look, I can't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine going this low today. But they keep going lower and lower because there is no bottom to that barrel. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for the super chats, by the way. That goes to help the show keep us on the air. All right. With that, let's go from Republicans to the resistance. So during his hearings, Brett Kavanaugh has lied to Congress, lied to the Senate Judiciary Committee about about certain things. Now, he's accused, of course, of sexually assaulting Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, a psychologist who gave very, very credible testimony against Kavanaugh when they were much younger. So now Republicans, of course, have lined up in favor of Kavanaugh against Blasey Ford, including Lindsey Graham. So there's a couple Republicans out there that aren't quite sure. You have Jeff Flake, of course, who continues to get flaky about the situation, going from, oh, I don't know, I'm going to defend Kavanaugh, but maybe this, and then I'm going to still vote for it, etc. To Collins and Murkowski, who are not quite sure and want to see more evidence. But what about the Democrats? Now, a lot of Democrats are obviously against the nomination of Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, and that includes Nancy Pelosi. However, Pelosi, on the issue of impeachment, because right now, Kavanaugh, look, he's doing a job interview for the Supreme Court, for a Supreme Court seat, which is a lifetime appointment, but he already has a lifetime appointment somewhere else in the D.C. Circuit Court. Now, Kavanaugh, as I mentioned before in other videos, has lied consistently, not just about this, not just about having a couple of beers now and then and, you know, all that, but about other things as well, about some of his duties in the D.C. Circuit Court. So even if he's not found guilty of some of these, which, by the way, this is not a criminal thing, this is actually just, like I said before, a job interview, and doesn't get the job, he'll still have his job in the D.C. Circuit Court, even if he is found to have done these things. So when asked about that, Pelosi, on the issue of, hey, look, maybe since he is a liar, and maybe if he did do these things, and if it's proven that he did these things, should we impeach him? Pelosi says no. Wow. Now, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said that she would not push to impeach Brett Kavanaugh if Democrats retake the majority in next month's midterm elections, saying that it will not be a focus of the party. Quote, let's take it one day at a time. We are not about impeachment, she said at the Atlantic Festival in Washington, D.C. Quote, that would not be my plan, saying that Democrats are not about dividing the country. We're about e pluribus unum. Oh, no. I don't want to divide the country by impeaching Kavanaugh, who's been proved to be a consistent pathological liar, who lied in his position and may have done sexual assault. Oh, no, I'm not about dividing the country. No, I'm about unity. Unity with what? With who? You want unity? What, you want unity with the Republicans? 54% whom say, you know what? If Kavanaugh did these things, did sexual assault, don't care. I want him on the Supreme Court. I want him on the court. And here's Pelosi saying, I want to reach out to those people. I think we can get common ground. I don't want to divide the country anymore. Hey, newsflash, Nancy. This country is already deeply divided along partisan lines. Why? It's because one half, not even a half of the country, but half of the electorate, maybe not even half of the electorate, to be honest with you, the Republican Party is so deeply entrenched in their own fucking reality that they see all Democrats, including you, Nancy, as evil, as completely contemptible, that we can have no common ground whatsoever, and the other side must absolutely be destroyed and crushed. That's what they believe. And you want unity? You want to stop dividing the country? Look, man, if these were normal times, if we actually had a Republican Party that acted in good faith, maybe. Okay, fine. Yeah, but we are nowhere near anything being resembling reality anymore. No, not at all. And for her to say, well, I'm just not in favor of impeaching Kavanaugh, but he should be impeached. Why? Because he's an absolute pathological liar, as I've pointed out time and time again. Even if he didn't do it. Lies. Full of lies. It's gross. It's absolutely gross. Now, other Democrats said, this includes Ted Lieu, based on the numerous allegations of sexual assault against Judge Brett Kavanaugh, including these new criminal allegations by Julie Swetnick, the House Judiciary Committee must immediately start an investigation into Judge Kavanaugh to see if he should be impeached. Pelosi, though, said, quote, I can only handle one impeachment at a time. Quote, I have enough people on my back wanting us to impeach the president. Man, get off my back. Yeah, I know you want to impeach the president, but yeah, get off my back, man. What, do you have anything better to do, Nancy? Well, it certainly isn't pushing for progressive policies like Medicare for all. Now, if you were choosing to do that instead, okay, then maybe like, okay, well, look, I agree with policy. Yes, we should absolutely push policy first. But that's not what Pelosi is going to be doing. Again, she doesn't believe in Medicare for all. She's not there yet. Her and Feinstein, some of the other dinosaurs in the Democratic Party, they don't believe in any of those progressive priorities. No. So what are you going to be doing, Nancy? What are you going to be doing? You're going to be raising money from your donors to give to other Democrats. That's what you're going to be doing. Because that's the only reason that you're in this position. And you call yourself the Michael Jordan of fundraising? Oh, I'm a superstar. I get things done. No, the only things you get done are raising money from your donors, begging donors for cash. That's all you do. That's why you lose. That's why the Democrats lose. Why can't the Democrats, the leadership, be strong? You call this leadership? This is not leadership at all. This isn't resistance. It's assistance. You are helping Republicans by keeping this person in the court who, again, lied and may have done sexual assault. And not only that, but you're sending a message. We don't care. I don't care. Look, I'm going to play politics. That's what I'm going to do. We're not going to go after this guy. We're not going to impeach him because I'm too busy doing something else. Sorry. Does Nancy Pelosi represent you? Is this what you want your representatives to do? No, we got to get them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Primaries, primaries, primaries. They matter. And if you guys miss this primary, then the actions of Pelosi, they're on you. All right. Moving on. All right. So all throughout his life, Donald Trump claims that he is a self-made man. All the stuff that, all the money that I have, all the success, that is owed to me and me alone, me and my gigantic, beautiful brain and my smart business savvy. I got great brain. It's kind of funny that same business savvy did lead to 6 bankruptcies. Just saying. A new bombshell report by the New York Times basically knocks that myth aside, the myth of the self-made man, and shows that, look, he got all this money not by having a big, beautiful brain and being smarter than everybody else and being a better businessman than everybody else. No, it's because of daddy. Not only that, but this same report also goes into how he used tax schemes and how he tried to basically screw his own siblings out of their inheritance as well. Because all the money that daddy gave him wasn't enough. He had to go after his siblings' money. It's amazing. Now, the Times reveals that based on 100,000 pages of financial records, including 200 pages of Fred Trump's tax returns, and those of the Trump empire's partnerships and interviews with Fred Trump's former associates, Trump has received the equivalent of $413 million in 2018 money from his father's real estate empire, starting when he was a toddler and continuing to this day. So that's a lot of money just given to him, just showered on him by his daddy. There ain't nothing self-made about that. In fact, by age 3, Mr. Trump was earning $200,000 a year in today's dollars from his father's empire. He was a millionaire by age 8. By the time he was 17, his father had given him part ownership of a 52-unit apartment building. Soon after Mr. Trump graduated from college, he was receiving the equivalent of $1 million a year by his father, or from his father. The money increased for the years to more than $5 million annually in his 40s and 50s. Oh, no, I only got a small loan of $1 million from my dad, and then I had to pay it back with interest. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. If you think Donald Trump is a self-made man, you are a sucker. He has suckered you in hook, line, and sinker. The only talent that Donald Trump has is that he can get people to believe his bullshit. But he's a terrible businessman. I mean, again, imagine getting millions of dollars handed to you. Now also imagine fucking it up and going bankrupt. According to the report, Fred Trump came to his son's financial rescue numerous times as the president's businesses floundered. He withdrew nearly $50 million from his real estate empire in 1990 when Trump hotels and casinos were drowning in debt, indicating that Fred wanted plenty of cash on hand to bail out his son if need be. Fred also arranged a purchase of $3.3 million in casino chips from Trump's Castle Casino in Atlantic City the same year to keep his son from defaulting on a bond repayment. You get handed all that money, but you are so much of an incompetent businessman, a fool, an idiot of epic proportions, and you continue to lose that money over and over again. And here comes Daddy bailing you out every time. That is privilege. That is extreme privilege. That is amazing. But I'm a self-made billionaire. I made everything myself because I'm so smart. Oh my God. You realize when he calls people dumb? That is massive projection. Donald Trump is the dumbest, worst businessman I've ever seen. Ever seen. And look, I got more information because this is a long, very detailed report. It's one of the most detailed probes into the president and his finances, and his father's finances, that has ever been. Incredibly detailed. Now, more of the details here. Between 1989 and 1992, according to tax records, 4 entities created by Fred Trump to support his children paid Donald Trump's today's equivalent of $8.3 million. And not only that, but tax records revealed that in the peak of Mr. Trump's financial distress, his father extracted extraordinary sums from his empire. In 1990, Fred Trump's income exploded to $49,638,928, several times what he paid himself in other years in that era. And of course, as I said before, that went to his son because he's a terrible businessman. Terrible. He was literally born on home base, thought he hit a triple, and then went bankrupt. He's terrible at this. Not only that, but both he and Fred are also tax cheats. By setting up a fraudulent corporation through which Trump and his 4 siblings passed huge monetary gifts from their parents, they were able to avoid paying millions of dollars in taxes. just one of several tax schemes Trump helped orchestrate in order to enrich himself, according to the Times. Now, records indicate that Mr. Trump helped his father take improper tax deductions worth millions more. He also helped formulate a strategy to undervalue his parents' real estate holdings by hundreds of millions of dollars on tax returns, sharply reducing the tax bill when those properties were transferred to him and his siblings. Now, how much wealth? Trump's parents transferred over $1 billion in wealth to their 5 kids. A sum which would have left or should have left the family with a $550 million tax bill. But the Trumps paid just $52.2 million, or about 5%, rather than 55% under the tax code at the time. So understand, these guys are tax cheats. They literally screwed the government, i.e. us, out of money that they owed. A lot of these are illegal. Now, of course, the statute of limitations has passed. There can still be civil fines, but look, if they had found this out when this had happened or right after this had happened, they would have gone to jail. That's how serious these tax schemes are. And the Trump family, look, Fred Trump. Now, here's the thing about Fred Trump. So look, he's a racist and a terrible person outright. He's also a tax cheat. But there was one thing Fred Trump was good about, or should say good at. He was actually good at building a business. He built a successful business, and then, of course, used tax cheats and stuff to help his kids. He didn't want them, his fortune going to estate taxes. Now, Donald, of course, Donald's just a terrible businessman. Who relied on daddy's money to bail him out time and time again. And both together, they cheated taxes that they owed for their extravagant wealth. Now, I'm already seeing Republicans saying, oh, you know what? That actually makes them smart. So you think breaking the law makes you smart? Breaking tax codes. To them, yes. That's a virtue. That's not a bug. It's a feature. Oh, that makes me like Donald Trump even more because he screwed the American government out of tax money that he owed. But some of these people fail to realize, and it's not just the pundits, but the people actually believe the pundits because the pundits are multi-millionaires. So they look at that and they're like, oh yeah, I don't want to pay the estate tax. No, I hate the estate tax. Boo, boo. Yay, Donald Trump and Fred Trump for skipping out on that, for starving the government of revenue. But no, I'm talking to the voters, right? You realize when people like Fred and Donald don't pay their taxes, you make up the difference. You make up the difference. You end up paying what they don't. That's why the share of income taxes paid by middle-class Americans has risen. Whereas, of course, the share of wealthy people has decreased. That's what this is about. And look, the question is, what happens when you don't pay your taxes? You go to jail. You go to jail. But did Donald Trump go to jail? Did Fred Trump? No, absolutely not. Because that is what wealth and privilege buys you in America. That's what this is. That's what you see over and over and over again. People like Fred and Donald getting away with everything because they are incredibly wealthy. And Donald Trump didn't earn a goddamn dime of it. That's who he is. Not a self-made billionaire. He's a pathological liar, a cheat, a con man, a snake oil salesman. Not a billionaire. And you wonder why he doesn't want us to see his tax returns. That's why. Because he's a cheat. That's who Donald Trump is. If you still believe in him, if you still back him up, then you're backing someone up who literally lies to your face constantly and screws you out of money. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I gotta get this net neutrality story out here. So we're gonna skip. We're gonna do that, and then we'll round out the show. All right. So recently, the state of California passed its own net neutrality law. Now, it's actually an incredibly strong law, which would basically require internet providers like AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon to treat all internet traffic equally. Okay, so it's the same principle as the net neutrality laws that Ajit Pai over at the FCC had overturned. So what makes California strong is that it would prohibit internet providers from blocking access to sites and services, slowing down web connections, or charging companies for faster delivery of their movies, music, or other content. So again, it's a lot like the net neutrality law, and it's actually one of the strongest, or I should say the strongest, response piece of legislation made since Ajit Pai had and the FCC had reversed net neutrality. So, incredibly strong. That's what we need. So now here comes the Trump administration saying, hold on a minute, not so fast. The Trump administration said on Sunday that it will sue California in an effort to block what experts have described as the toughest net neutrality law ever enacted in the United States, setting up a high-stakes legal showdown over the future of the internet. Now, Justice Department officials told the Washington Post that they would take the state to court on grounds that the federal government, not state leaders, have the exclusive power to regulate net neutrality. Well, how are they doing that? They're not. They're saying, we don't believe in net neutrality. We think that ISPs, these gatekeepers, should be able to control the internet, should be able to treat content differently based on whether you have the ability to pay or not. So we want to slow down traffic for our providers. We want to speed up traffic for others if you pay for fast lanes, things like that. That's what we would love business to be able to do. Well, that's not what the internet was designed for. The internet was designed to treat all content equally, to make sure that it continues to stay with an environment for innovation, the environment for freedom of expression and the free exchange of ideas that it is today. They're not in favor of that. They're against that in the Trump administration because corporations pay them to be. They hate that regulation, and so they want to put a stop to it. Now, the DOJ stressed that the FCC had been granted authority from Congress to ensure that all 50 states don't seek to write their own potentially conflicting rules governing the web. You know what would stop that? If we were to have net neutrality across all states. Oh, right, we had that under the Obama administration, and then Verizon's crony, their flunky, Chairman Pai, decided to undo that, forcing these states into the position of, hey man, if we want net neutrality, if we don't want corporations to walk all over us like they plan to do, then we need to craft our own net neutrality rules, which a lot of states are actually doing now. The argument from the Department of Justice is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, we don't want their states crafting their own. Well, there's a very, very easy way to stop that. But you don't want to do it because you want corporations to run everything. They said, Sessions said specifically, the Justice Department should not have to spend valuable time and resources to file this suit today. But we have a duty to defend the prerogatives of the federal government and protect our constitutional order. Translation, we have a duty to protect our donors. Because that's all this is for. They don't want net neutrality because it harms the donors. They don't get to make an extra buck off your internet access. That's what this is about. Now, look, California, I think it's got a pretty strong case for keeping these net neutrality provisions. So, and look, I thought you guys believed in states' rights, by the way. They don't. They don't. Of course not. If they did believe in states' rights, then they would allow California to, you know, practice its own net neutrality rules. But again, they don't believe in that when corporations are involved and when corporate profits and their donors are involved. That's what this fight's about. And don't be mistaken. When they talk about, oh, no, the federal government, government power, right? They don't believe that at all. They just want to make money. Okay. That's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you for going around the nation. I've got some of these super chats and I want to read for you. Super FKV says, greeting from Denmark. Peace. Well, peace to you. Thank you, Super FKV. Also, he adds, Jeff, for you saying Trump sucks, LOL, I like that. Well, he does suck. Massively so. But thank you. And thank you for the super chats. And thank you for sending those messages. That was really cool of you. All right. So, like I said, that's all I've got for you guys today. Please like and share. We've got clips coming out. So if you missed any part of the show, check out the clips. And if you could go share those, I'd appreciate that as well. So, all right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all and love you. And remember, change begins with you. Good night, TWT Nation. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.